This is it, the final round for the All-Stars of the Monster Mashers Championship Series. The top spot may be wrapped up, but that doesn't mean the rest of the field is going to lay down. Welcome one more time to Finals Weekend and Homecoming Weekend for the All-Star Monster Truck Tour, the 2023 Monster Mashers Championship Series. It's official. Triton Robbins is your 2023 Monster Mashers points champion. He was given the hardware just a little bit ago, and you see the opening ceremonies that just took place. We're going to get ready to go with action in just a moment. We'll open up with the best trick. There's still a couple points to be had below him, but his score is official as we will take a look at the final points coming into this week of action here at Boyd Speedway on the Tennessee-Georgia line. And, of course, it is Triton Robbins up top with 458 points. That will be his final score, mathematically throwing out his worst scores of the year. Montana Robbins right now sitting in the number 2 spot. Elliott Miller in Sinistar is in number 3. Corey Snyder, though, looking to jump up on Miller. He's only 10 points off of his back door. And he's got a good shot here tonight, looking to maybe overtake him, not only in best trick and freestyle, but if he can get a couple points up on him in racing, Snyder could finish in that number 3 spot for the second year in a row. And, of course, James Owens in hole shot rounding out the top 5. As we get ready for action in just a moment on the 2023 Monster Mashers Championship Series.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly. Stay up to date with photos, videos, event info, and more at monstersmonthly.com.
There's only one place in the world you can find this much old school cool. Freedom Racing Monster Trucks. The home of Cyclops and Unnamed and Untamed. Get yourself a limited edition toy at freedomracingmt.com.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by RPM Army, the place to get your motorsports fix. And by Crush This. For an inside look at the monster truck phenomenon, check out Crush This, a Monster Truck podcast.
And welcome back to the state line, the Tennessee-Georgia line. Boyd Speedway, the infield proper, actually sits in the little town of Ringgold, Georgia, as we mentioned at the top of the show. And for the very last time, the Monster Trucks will take to that infield and a little bit up here on the front stretch, as there is some two-wheel action to be had right here in front of the flag stand. But first up, best trick competition, and first in that competition to set the stage, Jack Brown out of Lafayette, Indiana in the Dirt Crew Dozer. Going for the stoppie, I think, hoping to get a moonwalk. Little bit slick up there. You can see there's dust, there's clumps, there's slurry, there's mud, there's marbles, there's everything. This is a very uneven race surface, but don't think this track crew didn't work their tails off to try to turn it back into something. A strong showing, though, there for Brown to open things up here in the 2023 Finals weekend and Homecoming weekend for the All-Star Monster Truck Tour based out of Chattanooga. Just on the other side of the parking lot. Brown, of course, setting the stage now for the rest of the competitors. He'll head back to the pit area. We have 5 more to go. Elliott Miller should be up next. Watch this again. I do believe he was going to try to get it into a moonwalk, but the left front got down there in that slick stuff, and it pirouetted around on him. Still solid. The fans love seeing those trucks up on the nose like that. A score of 4 to start things off. 4 out of a possible 10 points as these guys try to squeeze in a few before the end of the year. Again, Triton Robbins is the champion, but there's a little battle down there in the lower 3. Elliott Miller out of Cold Country looking good now in Sinistar. Kept the doggy clean tonight. Stella not going to need a bath after this one as stood it up nice and high but kept the grill off the ground. He'll get set now for his second hit here in the Best Trick competition. Big block power. One of the loudest machines on the circuit. Chassis designed in 1992. See what he's got here. The chassis was not built in 92, but the design still proven out. Looking for a slap wheelie, but you can see there is some mud over there as he slips and slides. He's got the old school Chinas in the front and the Harper tires in the back, the Marchers, and just couldn't get a hold of the surface over there, and that's going to cost him some points. Nice stoppie right there, though, and also maybe trying to get into a moonwalk. It looked like he put it in reverse right there. Didn't quite get it rolling, but a good effort. We'll see what the final score is for him. Did he jump over Jack Brown as he tries to maybe move up on the rest of the field just a bit? A score of 3, not going to do it. Big orange and purple Ford out of Michigan. Now, another member of the DCT Power Sports team, Darren Basil out of Conroe, Texas, driving Maximus. Nicely done, a big hit there for Maximus. Kind of a classic Best Trick move out of the ironclad Ford Raptor from the Hoosier State. Driver out of the Lone Star State. Another big wheel stand on the other race lane now on the far side. So he starts on the red lane and finishes on the blue lane. I'm not sure if that's going to take over the lead or not. Those were both solid wheelies. You can't take that away from him. And he's driving off the track with no damage right now. If you remember back to our coverage from last night, he locked up that left rear planetary and missed racing. It looks like he'll be moving on into racing action here, so we'll hope for the best. But nicely done as the brush shakes around. You see right there a score of 3 for Maximus. Not what he was looking for. I don't really agree with that score, but we'll walk out with a 3 now. Montana Robbins out of Lawtons, New York. Second in points, and the projected runner-up splashing down there in the mud, and that could hurt him because I guarantee you he is going to go for a stoppie off this race lane. One wheeling it there for a second. There, he got a hold of it. Trying to find even footing. It's not easy out here this evening. But he's doing a nice job so far. So Montana Robbins, with that one move, I guarantee you has at the very least matched Maximus and Sinistar, if not already jumped over him to match Dozer. Remember, each individual move is worth 5 points. And he's going to lose one right there. That's going to hurt him, but he'll still pick up a point or two for making the attempt. He'll at least get 1 point for making the attempt. So we'll wait and see what the final tally is. Watch this. On one wheel, got on the right front there, kind of walked it around, and you can see the steering kind of working itself in his hands, and score of a 6, as I said. That first move was going to be worth some points, and it was worth 5. Now, Corey Snyder, Toxic 2.0, looking to try to get himself at least up into 3rd place right now before the end of the year, or finish in 3rd place, I should say, which would match his total from last year. Let's see what he's got. Going for the walking wheelie, and he's just gonna let it sit there to the delight of a packed house here at Boyd Speedway. Look at him waving to the crowd. Now, how long is he gonna sit here? Is he stuck? Now, the truck didn't shut off. That's a good sign. Occasionally, when they bury the rear end like that, they'll actually catch the power switch, and it will cease the run prematurely. Didn't do that there now. Letting some oil pressure build back up. There's a lot of these engines run a double sump to allow them to sit at a vertical angle like that. I'm not sure about this one, but we know this big Oldsmobile power plant has plenty of horsepower. Didn't get quite what he was looking for out of that second move. You can tell as he just heads right back into the pits. Let's watch this again, though. Look at him. He's been doing these walking wheelies near perfection every time, and usually will carry it up and over the tabletop and down the entrance ramp to the race lane. There, he stuck it on the wheelie bar, and he just let it sit there and marinate on top of that finish line jump as he waved to the crowd with the front tires. A score of 9. So they gave him a gift on that one for that first move. He more than made up for what he lost on the second one, as I know he was going for a slap wheelie now. Your 2023 points champion, Triton Robbins and Crazy Train. Getting a hold of something there. Look how sloppy it is down in between the bus and that stoppy obstacle there as he managed to pull a moonwalk on a far less than ideal surface. Again, as they enter the infield from the front stretch, you can see just how sloppy it is. And it will get worse because as the humidity goes up tonight, that moisture will start to come up to the surface. It'll get muddier and muddier out here. Also going for a slap wheelie, but it didn't quite work for him. Triton Robbins, the 2023 champ in Crazy Train, just looking to kind of spoil the party for these guys. He is officially locked in, but we'll see what the final score was as we head over to Chuck Plumley.
It was a Toxic 9, Crazy Train 6 points. 6 points for the Crazy Train. That'll give the win to Corey Snyder. And the Toxic, your winner. Corey Snyder finally back in victory lane with the black and green destruction machine. Dude, I don't even know what you called that move. You parked it up on the tailgate. That was impressive. It was insane. It was unbelievable.
Oh, you know, I've been in situations like that before. You just gotta let it sit, let it marinate for a second, kind of take in all the scenery. I don't know if you guys have seen the sky today. It's pretty blue, but no, this is awesome. This is, I think, one of my first, if not my first, wheelie win of the year, and I'm having a blast. Championship weekend, we gotta all let it out, man.
It is. It is time to let everything hang out here. We have monster truck racing and freestyle still to go.
Oh yeah, I know. This track, if you haven't noticed, not only doing my wheelie, I found every mud pit in this entire floor. So it's gonna be a slipping and sliding way to the finish for everybody, but you know what? It just puts on a good show for you guys. And one thing I need to say, I gotta thank my crew guy, Kevin Rico. He has busted his butt for me all year long, and I could not be where I'm at right now with that truck, all the nuts and bolts tight without him. So this win is honestly for him. He deserves it. We're gonna go try to get some more.
It is time for the final first round of the 2023 Monster Mashers Championship Series down here on the infield of Boyd Speedway. And our first round matchup here on night 2 will be our night 1 championship matchup. The night 1 winner in racing Dirt Crew Dozer, Jack Brown out of Lafayette, Indiana by way of Deltona, Florida. And a line up against the New Yorker out of Lawtons, New York near Buffalo. It's Montana Robbins in Plain Crazy, your projected runner-up in points this year. They wait on green. Robbins looking for a little revenge. He got a good start. Brown starts to pass him up. Into the final corner, a little late for Robbins, but Brown manages to come from behind. Almost missed the turn, but managed to make it a legal run. He did run over the turn marker, but he did not cut the corner off, so it was still a legal run for Jack Brown. And this is definitely a slower track tonight than it was on the Friday night event we saw. And you can see it's not a consistent course at all. As you see Snyder throwing up a bunch of mud there on the starting line. You can see these trucks getting coated in different consistencies of mud and clay as Elliott Miller rolls into stage. Pair of 2014 Ford body GM powered machines. One with the big block Chevy here on the near side or the right lane, where Jack Brown just managed to pull off a win. Corey Snyder on the left-hand side in Toxic. He'll have the left-hand turn, and he went out in round 1 on the side that Elliott Miller is now on. He got into the marbles down here. Now it's full of mud on this side. Miller with a pretty good start, but he drifts way out. I don't know that Snyder has seen yet, but he has at this point. He's going to try to take advantage of it. A beautiful final turn for Toxic. You talk about an inconsistent track. Both lanes have their spots to contend with. This first right-hand turn on this right-hand lane seems to be the most problematic spot here tonight. It'll get chopped up as we go. But you can see this is definitely slick down here, especially now this last left-hand turn is the trouble spot on the left-hand lane. So the first turn in the left-hand lane is better than the first turn in the right-hand lane, but the last turn on the left-hand lane is far worse than pretty much anything on that right-hand side. So we will see how these lanes shake out as we continue on in action here. We want to thank CJFPV out of the Sunshine State for these awesome drone shots they're getting us. You guys risking some very expensive equipment to get those overhead shots. Good start for the champion. Spoiler trying to make that tough first turn in the right-hand lane. Does a nice job. Robbins, though, still out front. Both of them way out of shape, but Maximus will hang on. Just legal enough to make it count. You can see he was all over the track. Got a lot of crankcase pressure building up in that machine. As you saw the vapor coming out underneath, and it looks like he may be either having another intake issue or a temperature issue in that motor, because there was a lot of vapor coming off the top of that thing up through the down bars. Keep an eye on that, as he did have an issue. He lifted a blower last night heading off the track. Heard it whistling as he went back into the pits. Now as Corey Snyder rolls back out for a semifinal round matchup with last night's champ Jack Brown of the Dirt Crew Dozer. Brown coming back over to this near side. Now, we've had 2 wins out of this lane over here on the right-hand side. Corey Snyder lost out of this lane last night when, again, he got into those marbles while the track was dry. Tonight, it seems like the lanes have flip-flopped from the preferred lane last night. We'll see, though. Semifinal round matchup number 1. Ready to go. A little cockeyed off the start there for Brown, but look at him negotiate the corner. Snyder, a beautiful turn on the far side. in there. Snyder sliding out on the final left-hand turn. And Brown running over the right turn marker there. Across the finish line will go to his second final round of the weekend. So Dirt Crew Dozer is in. Who will he face, though, in the championship matchup? It will either be his teammate, Maximus, or the fast loser as we get a rematch here, but the lanes are flopped. The 2023 champ, Triton Robbins, in Crazy Train, the New York-based Eddie Micah chassis. Chattanooga Choo-Choo, we'll call it this weekend for homecoming weekend. Crazy Train and Maximus, the final semifinal matchup here at Boyd Speedway. Basil trying to take advantage of that first turn. He's starting to slip and slide there on the far side. And Maximus starts slowing down big time. Apparent problems for the Ford Raptor out of Lafayette, Indiana. And it looks like he's going to go right off the track. We saw more of that vapor coming off the engine, and now it's quit. I'm not sure if he has damaged that motor once again or not, but he is having a problem. That's plain to see. Again, he was building up a lot of crankcase pressure. I'm not sure if he has. Maybe he's on the verge of blowing that motor. Hopefully not, but again, he did lift a supercharger last night, and he would like to not do that again. We'll see if he can make it back for freestyle, but it'll be last night's champ against the brother of the driver he defeated. Jack Brown takes on Triton Robbins when we come back.
The world-famous C60 Cyclops. The infamous Dodge Carryall, unnamed and untamed. Get yourself a one-of-a-kind toy of a Mudbogger turned monster truck at freedomracingnt.com.
They meet on the front stretch for a little trash talk. Jack Brown and Triton Robbins at the RAI test, the final RAI test for the final round of this 2023 season. The drones headed out to the center of the track for this championship race. You saw them take off there from turn number 2 where the CJF BV10 and crew are stationed. Again, love those guys out of the state of Florida. Always bringing us some great angles. Not afraid to get right in there and mix it up. You know, Corey Snyder has actually taken out 2 of their drones this year. Or I guess officially taken out 1. And managed to bump the top of another one. Same event as earlier this year in Naples, Florida. He hit 2 drones from that team, and I believe it earned him a steak dinner. If I'm not mistaken, now as Dirt Crew Dozer and Crazy Train head to the starting line. Can the 2023 champ get one more racing win on the season? He's done very well, obviously, to put himself into that number 1 spot, but it has not been easy to get there. It's not been a perfect year by far. Good start for both, but a lot of nose-down attitude out of the far lane. Brown, though, with a beautiful first corner. They even up. Brown washes out. What a finish. Who won that one? Wow. That's about as close as you can get. They were both all over the track on that run. As we wait to find out.
I'm being told the racing win goes to the Crazy Train.
So the victory will go to the champ. Will now be the defending champ. Now Jack Brown's out here celebrating. So you get one more look at the run. They both had a great first turn, but look at Robbins set himself up for that final corner knowing he had the drier side, he had the good line, got a little out of shape there. Brown tried to come back on him, and it didn't work.
He was undefeated until the final round here tonight. You saw a little bit of the emotion, the frustration. He's a little frustrated, but you had to do what you had to do. The champion came to handle business. That's you going to victory lane.
Yeah, Chuck, I think Jack's a little confused, but you know what? I had to take a round and take a back seat, feel the track out, but you know, we figured the track and we're in the winner's circle.
You guys have a lot of these trophies at home. You want to celebrate with the fans. You want to give that away.
I love these trophies, but you know what? I got a huge one already. Who wants this trophy?
There you go.
Where the kids absolutely love Crazy Train. Of course, they had some new toys to start off their 2023 season. Take a look at how he got to that final round. Got knocked out by Maximus. A little bit of an upset considering the weekend that Maximus has been having. They rematched in the semifinal round where he would take on Jack Brown. Of course, Brown knocking out Triton's brother 2 times this weekend, once last night in the finals and once today in the first round race, and then knocked out Corey Snyder in Toxic. Of course, Triton taking the win there in the finals. Now it's time for freestyle, and to open things up, a guy who probably trash talks himself more than any other opponent out here, Elliott Miller in Sinistar, and also the only guy that does not care that there are technically walls on the infield of this track. We'll see if he plays with that again here tonight, but he's ready to throw it down. He said this was going to be a wild freestyle, and he would like to win this one going away. We'll see if it works out for him as the CJ-FPV drone follows him around turn number 2. He'll shoot back into the infield as he turns on the LEDs. Elliott Miller out of Ionia, Michigan, cuts it loose. Almost catastrophic right from go. Got out of shape there and slid up near that pole. In fact, he's putting the steering wheel back. It looks like the steering wheel came off. What did I say? He does not care. There's walls on this in the infield. He just drives right over them. Nice hit from Miller. Hard landing there, but it looks like the shocks are working beautifully. I'm not going to tell you what Corey Snyder says that he drives like, but I can tell you, he is singing that motor right now. Really put some RPM on that thing. Just letting it go where it wants to go. Miller using the mud to his advantage right now. And up and over the walls again. Front stretch. Into turn 1. Okay, I thought he was done. He just bumped the front stretch wall. What's he doing here? There's no way you're going to get up there. I think he forgot there was a K-rail under there. A point and shoot run if I've ever seen one. He's in trouble now. Over in the mud, and any engine builder that is watching or listening to this has had a nice sigh of relief as they shut that thing down. Miller upside down in the mud, not really where he wanted to put the truck over. He was trying everything to end that thing in spectacular fashion, and he did not disappoint. That is going to be a tough run to beat as they work to get him out. Now the safety crew's all over there. They've got the fire bottles ready to go. They're going to get him out of this truck. Let's watch it again. He tried to go sideways over the jammer. I don't think he cared where this thing ended up. Let him try to drive out a little bit. He stayed in the throttle. I think he would have liked to have saved it more than ended up on the roof, but he finally did that body, and it's been over a couple times this year already, but that was the end of it for sure. Use, of course, a 9, momentum a 9, wow factor a 10, a 28 to open the freestyle competition for Elliott Miller.
Hi, Nick.
You see Farmer climbing up there. Hook that thing up. Stacy will drag it back over, and we'll see just how badly damaged. I mean, you can see it already. That body is in rough shape. Here comes Elliott Miller out to the very jubilant crowd. Very appreciative. That is going to be a very, very tough run to beat.
That's for you, Wagons. Don't expect me to do anything cool ever again. That was just the one time.
Hey, welcome to Wildman Adventures. We're at the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter. Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo. Gotta check it out. This week we're going to go down memory lane.
Welcome back to the Tennessee-Georgia line here at Boyd Speedway for the final freestyle competition of the 2023 season. This was moments ago when they were getting Sinistar off the track. Elliott Miller setting the stage in a big way, a 28 to open up freestyle here tonight, and he knew he was going to have to lay one down. He said that he was going to try to win this thing here tonight. He definitely threw down the gauntlet now as Jack Brown pulls out the Joker. As I mentioned earlier in the show, the track is actually getting muddier right now due to the humidity in the air and the moisture coming up out of the soil and onto the surface, and you can see it's definitely slick over there on the other side, but there's still dust to be found and marbles. They're having some trouble though finding bite, And it may be to your advantage to just flat foot this thing and hope for the best. That's what Elliott Miller did, and it definitely worked out in his favor. Pogo off the bus right there. You can see having to navigate that mud pit on the way back into the infield and then line up the biggest obstacle. What a hit for Jack Brown up over top of the light standards. Dozer trying to raise the bar. Jack Brown laying down a strong run. Needs to finish with a flourish though. That's going to hurt him right there. It's very, very slick on that part of the track. There is mud down there. There's a nice launch you can get off of that obstacle, but as you saw, trying to get it to stick on the front tires was a no-go for Jack Brown. He's going to wrap it up there. He's puking an awful lot of flame out of the headers right now. I'm not sure if he's having a fuel issue or not. See what his scores are. A 6, a 6, and a 6 for a score of 18. So Jack Brown would come up 10 points short on that one. Solid run, but he needed more of a spectacle. Has to be happy, though, with his performance here this weekend as the official runner-up for the 2023 Point Series. Montana Robbins rolls out. Remember, we will see the Robbins brothers back next year. And I have a feeling Montana is going to have something to say about that points championship coming into the 2024 season as he tries to open it up there with some two-wheel action. Got on the nose. But the mud is taking its toll already. Big sky wheelie over on the backside. You can see how dark it gets over there in that corner of the infield. Robbins, though, looking good right now. Keep in mind they freshened this truck up last night as he sheared a bunch of knuckle bolts, and now he just showered down the drone with mud. Ripped the left front tire off last night to finish up his run. And much to the fans' delight, but he ended up in the same mud that Elliott Miller did. Old school mud bogging, just raw horsepower and some wet dirt. Back through the mud, those sparks you're seeing out of the rear end are coming off the brake rotors. These trucks run driveline brakes. And right now and throughout the last year or so, he's been dealing with an issue where the rear brakes drag. I'm not sure if he's just getting on them a lot or if they're dragging again, but we're definitely seeing a lot of sparks off that rear end. Wearing his bow tie sideways as he wraps up a solid effort. Montana Robbins turning him on. He'll get to drive the truck in the trailer this weekend. Should be happy with that as He did most of his damage last night. We'll wait on the scores, though, as he'll head off the track. We'll get ready for our next vehicle, which will be Toxic 2.0. Scores coming in now. A 9 on Use, of course, an 8 on Momentum, and an 8 on Wow Factor. He was closing in on Miller. 3 points short, though, for Plain Crazy, the Empire Flyer. You can see we've definitely torn up our share of body panels here tonight. Crew gets ready to send the big 2014 Ford Super Duty body Oldsmobile powered metal shop chassis Toxic 2.0 out. And he's already done some fiberglass damage. He's got nothing to lose right now. Is now expanding itself further and further out onto the track. Every time they go through it, they're pushing more and more of that slop out onto the flat surface. They're going to give this thing a power wash before they put it back inside the trailer that they just recently had built by their amazing crew chief, Kevin Rico, from Hazleton, Pennsylvania, right in the same area as the Seasock family, and then spent some time over in the Vodders camp, now teamed up with Warped Motorsports. Corey Snyder and their co-driver, Preston Perez, who also came from the Vodders camp. Working the track hard now. He's going to stop and not go over the wall, and that might actually help him, but he wants a shot at the bus, I believe. Just keeping his foot in it right now, and it seems like the truck does not want to get up and go the way he'd like it to, as this motor was just recently rebuilt. I'm not sure if the gearing is wrong or if it may be having some other issue. Their engine builder, Kevin Stauffer, working very closely with them to make sure they have all the horsepower they need. So I guarantee you he's going to be in there next week or later this week, making sure that they have gotten all the horsepower back that they want. But Snyder's working the track. Taking one final mud bath in front of the flag stand, Corey Snyder in Toxic 2.0 as we see more fiberglass dangling off the chassis. Just shower down the camera crew and the grounds crew for good measure. See his crew chief right there, Kevin Rigo, flagging him back to the trailer. He'll take it right on back to the wash bay, I believe, and give it a proper bath. We'll see what the scores were. Remember, shooting for a 28, an 8, an 8, and a 6. Not going to do it. And again, I think the mud was hurting him. It seemed like he was just a little bit down on power. Score of 22. Right now, they drop him into the number 3 spot, just behind Plain Crazy. Now our final competitor, carrying the flag, showing he was the final points leader, and he's gotten the hardware to show you. At the top of the show, Triton Robin, out of Watkins, New York, piloting this week the Chattanooga Choo Choo. This is the 2023 champ, Crazy Train. His family built some big-time horsepower out of that Jansen Race Engine shop in Western New York. They built their own engines out of Mike Janis's garage. And look at that. Once again, the Robbins family hoses down the drone doing donuts out in the mud. They're still chasing him around. I don't know that we're going to get anything from that camera. But Triton is about to lay down a shot. Big Sky Willie, but he has broken the steering components off of the rear housing. Looks like he's completely broken the tab loose, and both tie rods and the steering ram have broken off, and his score comes in immediately, all fives of 15. Not the way he wanted to end the year, but he gets to end it as the champ, and that means he gets to carry those colors on in to the 2024 season. Cannot wait for that to get started as we get one final look at the points for the 2023 Monster Mashers Championship Series. And there you see Crazy Train on top, 456 points. That's what he came in to this one with. Plain Crazy. Toxic 2.0 officially moves up to third place. Sinistar finishing in the number 4 spot, and Holeshot maintains that number 5 position. So our congratulations to Triton Robbins. Of course, Corey Snyder on picking up a win here tonight. Triton picking up a racing win. Snyder picking up the best trick victory. And of course, Elliott Miller picking up a freestyle victory in spectacular fashion in Sinistar. So as the fireworks wrap up here at Boyd Speedway in Chattanooga, Tennessee, we thank you for joining us. We're not done with the All-Star Monster Truck Tour. We'll have some bonus coverage coming at you, and of course our annual stop at Lake Erie Speedway. For all of us, we'll see you next time.